Oh, why might you wear a yellow eyeshadow and a bright hot pink scarf? Well, I have to tell you, I'm trying to hide the fact that this is actually a pajama shirt. So I don't feel like getting dressed. It's like 18 degrees outside, so we're all just gonna pretend that this is a grown-up outfit and that, I'm not being a child about this. Okay? And yellow eyeshadow goes with anything. Hey guys, thanks for coming back to check out another video. I always feel like when I do the hey guys, it's like higher pitched. I don't know. It's not really how I talk in real life. Anyway, so my biggest problem is eyeshadow, in case you were unaware, but I'm pretty sure you guys had a really good idea that that was my biggest problem with makeup. So I constantly like see things and they don't even have to be new releases. I'm just like, oh, drooling over these eyeshadow palettes, and I'm like, okay, stop it. So I just recently did the like shop my stash to dupe the ColourPop Mint to Be palette, and that was really successful. But then I was looking through, like as I was doing that, I was like, you got five eyeshadow palettes here that you've never even used. Like maybe they've been swatched or like one shade out of them has been used, but I don't really count that as like using them. Like these are 5 palettes that I've received between October 2019 and December 2019 for like anniversary Christmas gift type things. And just haven't played with them. Like I don't know enough about them to even have an opinion on them. Like I don't know, that's really sad. So I just gonna put that out there. This is what this is. I'm gonna show you the 5 eyeshadow palettes that I need to lay my hands on and form an opinion about and actually use this year of 2020. So the first one we will talk about is this little mini Natasha Denona 5 pan. Was it 5? Yeah, 5. It's the mini star, and it is so pretty. Like I really do love this. I think I might have used this matte shade once, like in my crease, which, hello, that's like the most boring thing you can do with this palette, right? I really wanted this and thankfully received it for Christmas, and I thought this would be like a great little mini palette, like easy just to put something together, like really effortlessly, like travel friendly. And while I'm still really appreciative of this, I have another mini palette in here, and then I have over there like the Build Your Own Makeup Forever palette that I had and the Smashbox palette. Those two that are over there, they constantly get lost in my collection. Like I just forget about them because they are so tiny. So I'm kind of afraid that's what's going to happen with this one and the next one, and that's a shame. That is a real shame. And so partly like I'm going to use these and continue to use the 2 that are over there, but I think just for me personally, like I am no longer going to want or pine after these little mini palettes because they just don't, like the shades work for me, but just the size of them doesn't work for me, if that kind of makes sense. So we will move on into the next one. It is the Tartelette Flirt palette. And so this is what it looks like on the inside. And it's really pretty. I do really like this. Again, it's just like your standard neutral palette, which, hello, that's what I am. It's just a neutral girl. I'm really thankful to receive this. Don't take this the wrong way. One gripe that I have with this palette is that when I looked at it online, I'll try to throw up a picture here. When I looked at it online, it seemed like a more cool toned palette to me, at least online, and so that was one of the reasons that I like put this on like my wish list. And so I do still think that it's really pretty, but it's like a little bit of a disappointment when you like get it and it's in person and it's much more warmer than you expected. Does that kind of, I'm sure you guys have done that too, where like you see something online like a shade or a color and then you get it and you're like, that's a little off. Like I think ColourPop is the worst offender in my opinion. Like when I go to pick out, like if I've picked out single shadows off of their website, like what it looks like on the picture versus what I get is completely different. And I understand like part of that is due to like different monitor resolutions and pixels and colors and all that technical stuff that I don't really understand. But anyway, the real point here is that this is also an eyeshadow palette that I have yet to even swatch or use, and it is January, what, 22nd now? And so I got this, you know, around Christmas time. Like, you can still see, I think, like all the little Tarte logo embossing. It's just quite a shame. And I'm really hoping that doing the Pan Those Eyeshadows series will help me dip into these palettes a lot more. And then also, I have come to discover I was right about my Lorac Mega Pro 1 for my Pan That palette. There are some lid shades in there, but there's far more crease shades in there. So most of the like shimmery kind of shades in that palette work better in the crease. So I really think that I should be able to pull in a lot of these palettes and use these more like lid shades in with that Pan That palette, if that made sense. Anyway, the next one I'll show you is the ColourPop Give Me Butterflies. This is so pretty. This is very, like, to me, this is very colorful. It is just all this nice, pretty pink, like really pretty goodness. Now, did I need this? Probably not. Is this probably very similar to the Sweet Talk palette that I already own? Probably. There's probably some similarities. There's probably just as many differences, but you know, when you think about like pinks and things like that, how many do you really need in your life? Probably not 2 palettes worth. But I am still really happy to have had this, to have received this. So I'm really, really drawn to the shade Winged right here, this glittery kind of shade Get Lost, and this glittery shade down here, Overpacked. This is just so pretty. I don't know though. I mean, February with Valentine's Day feels like a very pink purpley kind of month. So hopefully maybe I can pull this out then. If not, like definitely in the springtime, I want to get more use out of this. Because again, this is a palette that I haven't even like swatched or like played around with. Then the next one, also another palette that I haven't like swatched or anything. And part of the reason is because I think this is just too pretty and I have to get over that. Like, no, you need to use makeup. Like, nothing is too pretty to use. So it's the Tarte Sugar Rush palette, the BU. I just absolutely love all of those little honeycomb imprints and the little honeybees. Like, look how cute that is. So I like look at it and I'm like, oh, I want to put this on my face. Like, this looks gorgeous. But then I go to use it and I'm like, oh, but you're gonna ruin the pretty little embossing. So get over it and start using it. Put this on your eyes, right? So I really think this is like a nice mixture of some warm and like cool tones. It has like that nice like pop of yellow. And I've been really wanting to get into more like yellow eyeshadow looks because yellow and pink are like my 2 favorite colors. And so I want to, you know, learn to play around with yellow some more. Like, I feel pretty confident with like pink and making looks like that, but yellow we're still like learning. So, but yeah, this is palette number 4 that I have yet to even pull out or swatch. But I do take this out and look at it. Do you guys do that too? Do you just like take out something from your makeup collection and stare at it for a little bit, like, oh, it's so pretty, and then you put it back? Just me? Okay. So the last one, technically, okay, so a little bit of a backstory, because there's always a backstory, right? So I used to own the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, and then I decluttered it and gave it to a friend. This was at the time in my life when I was still subscribed to BoxyCharm, and this was before they let you kind of like, I think now they have options to kind of make your box a little more customizable to you and your preferences. But back when I was getting it, like, you couldn't do that. And so it was like every month you were getting an eyeshadow palette. So before I started my channel, like, we were moving from our old house into this one, and I counted, I had 88 eyeshadow palettes, and that was ridiculous. And most, like, majority, over half of those were from BoxyCharm. So I ended up decluttering a bunch of things, you know, that I'd received from BoxyCharm, and then some other things in my life that I just wasn't getting the use out of. So this palette was one that I actually decluttered and gave to a friend, and I had used this enough times to know that I liked it, but I was like, oh, I don't need it, like, whatever, take it. And then I started missing it, and I really wanted it back in my life. So my husband was so nice to purchase this as an anniversary gift, and guess what? Still haven't used it. I've maybe swatched it and like played around with it. And so this is kind of like a gray area palette where like, yes, technically I have used this and I have an opinion on it and I know that I love this palette, but the one that I love is now in somebody else's life. So this is a new one that hasn't received this same amount of love that the other one did. So yeah, but I really am excited to like pull this out. I think this is a great like all year around palette. And I was really tempted to make this my Pan That palette, but there's always next year, right? So that's it. Those are 5 eyeshadow palettes in my collection within my 32-ish that I have either like maybe used one shade out of or haven't even touched at all. And so it's just sad. I need to be better. Instead of like, I guess my whole purpose with this was like kind of going back to that public shaming yourself, but there's no reason for me to bring in something else into my life, because here are 5 very pretty eyeshadow palettes that I think, you know, maybe you don't think they're pretty, but at least for me, like they're right up my alley, love them, and I still haven't even used them. So why should I bring in anything else, you know? It's kind of the thought process, and I just thought like, I thought maybe you guys would just be interested in seeing it, because I like that, you know, I can just get on here and like talk to you, and like, I know it's not like a live action chat or anything, but it is kind of nice to like sit here and like let you guys in on this part of my life, you know? I don't know. I'm going to end it before I get too terribly rambly, and I hope you guys are having a good day or whatever it is, if it's nighttime, the weekend, whatever, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.